Hello, Detroit. Hello. This is Aaliyah Moore running for DPSCD School Board, Detroit Public Community Schools Community District. As I stated, I'm going to be coming to you every day. I know it's kind of late. I'm usually kind of early, but just want to try to get on here at different times and just put a word out, let you know a little bit about myself, let you know about some of the facts about the board, as well as some of the people that are running. I already went over in the last couple of days some of the people that are currently running. So throughout the month, I will probably mention them and, certain things. But today, we are going to go over public comment. Public comment is very important because as stakeholders and people that, bring money to the district, as I said, every day when you bring your children to school, it's important that if you attend a meeting, whether you have a complaint, a concern, a compliment, you need to kind of know the public comment process. And over the years, even the board that is currently running for re-election, they are currently okay with our, public comment and how it's run. And you do, whether you call in, whether you do a virtual meeting or in-person meeting, you have the right to have a public comment if you want. It used to be 2 minutes, but the community spoke and we spoke loud and consistently, and they changed it to 3 minutes. So you get 3 minutes, whether you call in, whether you're in person, whether you get on Zoom, and you have, every right to use your full 3 minutes. But I need to tell you that this board is also satisfied with cutting the mic off on you if your comments are repetitious. So, for example, if the community wants to speak and they have a lot to say, and it's maybe 10 of you all speaking on the same subject, they have every right to cut the mic off. They have the right to cut the mic off if the board feels that what you're saying is irrelevant to the school board. And then they also have the right to cut the mic off if they feel like it's not an agenda item that you're speaking about. And so I go back to leadership because we have, and I'm going to keep saying it, besides our annual budget, we are working with $1.27 billion in COVID relief funding. This is the last year of that money. And so I feel like it's kind of disrespectful for this current board to implement this policy as far as public comment, because prior to them just giving us the 2 minutes, they did not raise the issue of cutting the mic off. Hey, Miss Keisha, how are you? That's right. Oh, yes, absolutely. When we had our 2 minutes, they did not, if that policy was on the books, they didn't implement it. And so now that we have all this money here, I feel like it's disrespectful to the community to now want to implement a rule of, to me, suppression and silencing, and it's election time. So be surprised, they're going to come to events and they're going to want to speak and we want to hear from you. But it's like when I want to come and speak at a meeting, if I'm not saying what you want, or if too many of us are saying it, you have every right to cut us off. And I was informed, give or take in about 2016, that they started doing this to teachers at teachers' meetings, cutting the mics off on them in union meetings. And so it's all in what can be, if you can get away with it, then you're going to do it. And so it's very important for us to know as stakeholders, like I said, parents, guardians, people that are now in positions of raising children that you may have not prior to the pandemic. It's just important to know your rights, because even in the city, when you're dealing with city council and other city meetings and, just business meetings, to know the public comment process. But in our schools, it's extremely important for us to know, because we are the boss. I cannot reiterate that enough. It's not about, an attack for the board. It's not about, trying to bash them. It's not about anything negative, but just the respect as a stakeholder and as someone that is bringing money to school every day. You have a right. If 20 of y'all want to get up and talk about the same subject, everybody's not going to say it in the same way. And so the respect that if I become school board on the DPSCD school board, I would try to revisit that policy or at least make myself available to the community as a board member. Whether it's a Zoom call myself or meeting up somewhere besides going into the schools, but also maybe trying to come around dismissal to introduce myself to parents, let them know that I'm on the board and that I'm here for you. And whether you want to email me, because right now I have emailed Sonia Mays, which is our treasurer on the board. It's been 7 days, give or take, and I have not heard a response from her. And I emailed her because it's really popular right now with the name changes of schools. That's been going on, during the pandemic, different states changing names and going back to original names or taking names off for whatever reasons the community wants. And you have, I believe Crockett wants to go back to Crockett, and they're currently Ben Carson, and I believe it was one more. I believe Northwestern will go back to Northwestern because right now it's collegiate prep at Northwestern, if I'm not mistaken. So, and she voted no in one of the committee meetings. The name change is due to go to this current board meeting coming up in October. So I encourage you all to get on the DPSCD website, click on upcoming events, and just go to the board meeting. Like I said, you can attend via telephone, Zoom, in person, whatever you want to do. But this is important, people, because it's like the more that is taken, the comfort zone becomes there, and it's just more and more of a disrespect. And at a time, like I said, when so much money is here, why are you afraid to hear? I have seen, and I do appreciate the district for hosting, they have like these parent listening sessions, but even the format of those has changed. They're giving us an hour. You have a district of over, and I checked the DPSCD website today, we have over 53,000 students, which is a beautiful thing. But you're giving an hour for a possible 100,000 parents to call in, because if you do 53,000 times 2, we're not making these children ourselves, and everybody's not a single parent or a guardian. So it's just the respect. That's all it is. And if I'm on the board, I want to bring that respect back. If I email you and you're out the office, have an automatic. I'm out of the office. I'll get back with you. If it's important, contact so-and-so. Or, I apologize. I was away. I missed your email. But just to have somebody waiting. And I'm a stakeholder asking you a question about your job that I supposedly elected you for. So it's real simple, people. What is it? Absolutely, Ms. Keisha. We got to be respected because we bring the money to school. It's no other way around it. It's just a plain and simple customer service policy. And I've been looking, and I'm going to start researching more other districts and how they conduct their public comment. I know how the city of Detroit does, and it's similar, but I believe they only get 2 minutes as city council. But it's all in really what we want, because if they gave us that extra minute, the community, like I said, was consistent and they wanted it. And so we got it. But it was just, now you just want to implement. And then they read it. Every meeting, they're reading, okay, if we have the right to cut it off. And also if public comment goes over an hour, they have the right to vote and cut it off. And so this last board meeting in September, they rearranged the agenda because it was a total of maybe 14 public comments. And so they put all the action items in front of public comment, when normally public comment comes right after Dr. Vidi's report. And we had invited some parents and some students to come. And so we were there maybe about 3 knocking on 3 hours before they got into public comment. And so those parents, they were like, they spoke, and I was so proud because they were new parents coming to the meeting, but they're like, are you all serious? Why would you, rearrange the agenda? And so even after the action items, you had Sonia Mays, which is the treasurer, she got up and left. It's the respect. And then a couple of the children spoke, and they wanted their full attention. And some of the board members were on their laptops. They were texting. We had board member Coletta Vaughn. She was sleeping. And so it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm telling y'all, billboards, commercials, the whole nine, meet and greets, they want to hear from you. They want your vote. They want to hear you when you go in those ballot polls in November and circle in their name. They want to hear from you by the thousands. But yet, when you sit on a board, you're okay with cutting a mic off if a stakeholder has taken their time out of their day to engage a district call and be the quote unquote engaged parent or guardian. So, like I said, it's just leadership. People may say I'm just bashing the district. I don't see the good, but I do recognize the good. But when it's not the good for all of our students, for all the community, you're not going to please everybody. And that's not the goal. But we are the stakeholders. And if the majority of us are pleased, then they're doing a good job. But if I hear the voices of different people that, may not want to speak out, but I still hear those conversations, and they don't trust a lot of things that's going on, but yet they don't feel empowered to speak. And so, like I said, I do this for these babies, and I do this for the voiceless, because I once was voiceless, but when I really saw what can happen and the degree of not caring about children, and that's what it's about, billions of dollars, millions of dollars being spent, but, not spent in an effective way to help our teachers so they can help our babies. It's real simple. So thank you all. Thank you, Miss Keisha. You are an inspiration to me as well, because every time I see you, you are just so positive, and, your spirit, it seems like it just can't be moved, and you structured in what you're doing. So I just thank you. I appreciate, and I'm glad I met you, and I look forward to working with you. And hey, Miss Lewis, and I just appreciate, all the support. So I will be, like I said, getting on Instagram and YouTube, trying to share these videos and get the word out. My flyers are done today. So I'm just rolling with it. It's 18 people running for 4 seats. But like I said, win or lose, Aaliyah Moore will continue to fight for the 53,000 students that's in our district and teachers. And when I say fight, you got to be technical. I ain't trying to beat up nobody, harass nobody. When I say fight, I mean attending meetings, staying engaged, listening to those conversations, asking questions that are wrapped around our teachers, our students, our staff, our everybody down from lunch staff to custodians to vice principals, paraprofessionals, academic interventionists, the nurses, everybody, because all of that creates the proper space for our babies to really learn. And the curriculum, I'm hearing so many bad things. The teachers saying that it's not any good. Some of the students are not pleased, but this curriculum has been here basically since Dr. Vidi's been here. So you're looking at about a 4 to 5 year working with this curriculum. So me, one person, I can't come in and say, oh, we need to change the curriculum, but we can definitely, as a district, provide as much community, networking with companies, and whether you do academics, whether you do extracurricular, whether you do mental wellness, mental health services, those type of connections are needed, especially at a time when this COVID money is about to run out. Plain and simple. DPSCD is community district. So it should be all about the community, respecting the community, hearing the community, and working with the community. So thank you all so much. like and share, and I will see y'all tomorrow.